So what is going on, guys? Native93 here with another video. And before we get started, if you guys know, I think about a week ago I dropped a video of what an iPad Pro or how an iPad Pro should work. And that video is done amazingly, and that's basically me touching on the Shiftscreen app and how I use it for my workflow, my day-to-day. So that video did so well that the developer was nice enough to actually sponsor this video. So in order to enter the giveaway for a Magic Trackpad 2, super nice of the guy to actually give one away to you guys. So all you have to do is follow both of us on Twitter, leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, and then we'll announce the winner of the Magic Trackpad 2 a week from when this video is released on Twitter. So be sure, at a minimum, to at least follow both of us on Twitter, and then we're going to take the entries from all the comments in this video. So hopefully, we just want to get back to you guys because, again, that video did super well and the channel's growing, so really do appreciate it. But let's hop right into this video, guys. Let's get it. So a couple days ago, a YouTuber by the name of Matt Gonzalez came out with a video called Rethinking the iPad, or Let's Rethink the iPad Pro. And he basically kind of just reorganized and changed everything that was on his iPad to fully optimize what he was doing on the iPad and also give it a different feel overall. So I kind of took the same approach, and the reason I did this is because, so once iPadOS 13.4 came out and that new trackpad support, mouse support was natively supported within the operating system, and it wasn't like some weird accessibility feature, it kind of gave the iPad a whole new feel, right? It was, you literally just, one software update kind of made me rethink and reimagine what the iPad Pro can do and how much easier it's going to be to actually navigate through the iPad. So what I wanted to do was, I wanted to use Matt Gonzalez's template and to kind of change the feel and the look of the iPad to almost make it feel as if I'm using a MacBook Pro or a Mac desktop, right? So real quick, what I did was change my wallpaper. I'm gonna walk you guys through the whole thing real quick if you guys wanna kind of emulate this same setup. So what I did real quick was change the wallpaper. I then moved all the apps away from my home screen, as you guys can see. So there's nothing on my home screen to give it kind of a clean look, because that's how I have most of my desktop computers in the past. I literally had nothing besides the Finder icon on my actual home screen. So, and then on the bottom, with the iPad Pro, you can fit up to 15 icons or 15, apps on the actual bottom dock. So I took advantage of that, right? And also the main reason I kind of did this is because multitasking, the most easily accessible when the application that you're about to multitask with is in the home dock, because otherwise you would have to spotlight search that application within the application that you're in right now to then drag it into the multitasking. So it's one added step, right? So what I did was I started to think, what apps do I use most often, right? So calendar app, Chrome and Safari, Mail app, have my Google Home to be able to control everything in my house, Files, Notes, Twitter, Photos, Shiftscreen, which we're going to touch on in the second half of the video, App Store settings, and then I have my work folder, my editing folder, which has Lightroom and LumaFusion, and then my Google folder, which has all YouTube, YouTube TV, YouTube Studio, and all the other G Drive apps, right? So that's what I wanted to do with the home screen itself. And then also what I did was kind of reorganize my widgets, right? So on the left, you have your widgets that I always keep on just so it looks, again, it gives it a different feel, because you can have those widgets kind of disappear if you want to, but I like to keep them permanently on the home screen. So I added a couple shortcuts onto my widgets menu, because there's a couple things that I wanted to do quickly, right? Especially when I have my MX Anywhere S2. In order for me to take full functionality or take full advantage of all the different hotkeys on there, I have to have accessibility touch on. And whenever I disconnect the mouse or I don't have the mouse on me, that little accessibility menu shows up, which I hate. So I just added a quick shortcut to toggle that on and off. Also added a quick shortcut to turn on the rooms turn on and off the lights in my living room, because I'm always in there. And then I always like to see I always like to see my battery indication on what all my different peripherals, how much battery they have, and how much more I need to charge everything up. Then I have my Siri App Suggestions, which are just pretty much 8 of the most recently used apps. So that kind of gives me even more leeway into how many apps I have on the actual home screen. Screen time, Google, and then a YouTube counter that I have right there, guys. So that's my home screen, and that's how I kind of just reimagined it and kind of retooled it to give me a better feel. So when I open it, it just looks a lot cleaner. There isn't a clutter on the screen that's kind of confusing or annoying to go through. 2, to make it more efficient, so when I want to multitask something, it's a lot easier to actually do that, right? Because let's say I'm in Safari and then I want to pull down and open up Twitter, but oh wait, Twitter's on the second page of my app, so I have to quit out of Safari, open up Twitter, then open up Safari again, and then multitask that way. That's just not an efficient way to do it. So that's why I put Twitter or all these apps on the bottom dock, so it's easy for me to access when it comes from a multitasking perspective, right? So that's what I did to change and kind of rethink and reimagine what my iPad Pro feels like, right? The addition of native mouse support, native trackpad support has been an awesome experience. Yes, it's not the same. It's not the same as a normal Mac OS or Windows computer point and click, but it gives you a bunch more functionality. It just gives you another way to interact with the iPad in a more fluid way that doesn't feel like you're kind of doing a workaround essentially, right? So the next thing I want to show you guys is Shiftscreen. So again, with that other video that I posted of how the iPad Pro should work, the app that I use to kind of get rid of these black bars that you guys see on the screen here is called Shiftscreen. And I'm going to bring you guys a little bit closer to show you guys one of the updates that came out, because when I made that video, there was no mouse support, no native mouse support for the Shiftscreen app to fully take advantage of that. And then it was updated and it's a different beast now, guys. So I'm going to show you guys how it works, bring you guys a little bit closer. So let's get it. So hopefully you guys can see, and this wide angle is working pretty well. So what I want to show you guys is essentially how Shiftscreen has changed a little bit, right? So if you guys remember from the last video, you just open up Shiftscreen, then the monitor is kind of taken over by the Shiftscreen app. So let's hop into a website. Let's go to ESPN.com. Then it loads up, and then you guys can see that the black bars are gone, right? There's no more black bars on the screen. It still is mirroring what's shown on the iPad, but I'll show you guys how this is kind of going to change a little bit, right? So if we add a new window, let's open up, let's get YouTube on this one, right? So youtube.com, and then boom, there I have youtube.com. And if you guys can see, right? So now the system knows, if I go up here, you guys can see that I have the native Apple cursor moving around, right? If I move over one of these two panels, it gets taken over by a normal mouse, like a classic point and shoot mouse. If I go in between, it quickly changes, as you guys can see, quickly changes back into the Apple one, and then changes back into a regular cursor, right? So here, it works the same way as you would if you were to interact with a normal screen, right? You can use the cursor, go on ESPN again, let's click on this news article, and then you can scroll, and it works the same way it would work with the different multitasking features, right? And then what makes Shiftscreen so special and why I like it so much is because as long as you keep the app open, right? So you can multitask on the iPad itself. Let's say, like I said, I want to bring up Twitter, move it over to the side, and then Twitter is still working on my actual iPad, but it's not showing here, but it is still mirroring the application itself. So the new update is the fact that you now have cursor support, or you have cursor support being mirrored from the iPad onto the monitor, which no longer has letterboxing. And I think that's an awesome, awesome update. And again, you can watch videos. I don't have any sound coming through because I'm plugged in through an HDMI cable, and HDMI gets defaulted, or the audio gets defaulted onto the monitor when the monitor doesn't have any speakers. So if I do want to hear something, I just gotta add a Bluetooth speaker. But as you guys can see, it's all working, guys. I have my ESPN website on the left here that I can scroll through with the mouse itself. If you guys can see, I'm using the mouse, the Magic Trackpad right now. I have a YouTube video playing, John Branch, the 4th Photography, awesome YouTube channel, and then I have Twitter working here. So overall, it's a great update, and we're getting closer and closer to that magical moment where Apple just lets us use a secondary monitor. My dream is to actually have it so when you open up the secondary screen, it automatically just shows the second screen of the iPad itself, and I would love to have that be shown. And then as you kind of start doing whatever you need to do, the second screen becomes like where you're doing all your application work from. So overall, the Shiftscreen app just keeps getting better and better. I remember when 1.0 came out about 6 weeks ago, it was nothing like what it is now, guys. So little by little, just give the developer some time to kind of take in the feedback. If you guys need something, message him or DM him on Twitter, or reach out to me and I'll get in contact with him because he's very big on feedback from the users, right? So right now we have technically a solution to get rid of the letterboxing and to display something on the secondary display that isn't just a mirror of what's going on, right? So I highly recommend checking out Shiftscreen. We did a giveaway before, so everybody got their codes that's hopefully trying them out. If you guys have tried it out, leave a comment below, you know, what you like about it, what you dislike, what you would change, and things like that, because I'm always looking to see what can be added. But for me, for right now, this is the best solution that we have for a secondary display, not just mirroring what's on the iPad, right? So overall, that's kind of my iPad Pro reimagined situation. Like I said, all I did was change up the home screen layout. As you guys can see, And then with Shiftscreen being updated, it's just been a wonder, guys. So little by little, we're getting to the point where the iPad Pro will be the end-all be-all of what we're using to use a computer. In my opinion, my dream is to just be able to sit down with the iPad, dock it somewhere, and then my screen populates and I'm ready to just start working. And then when I'm done, pick it up and go. So hopefully we get there at some point. I'm sure Apple's working on something for iOS or iPadOS 14. Maybe they'll make us wait until iPadOS 15, who knows. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. So don't forget to enter the giveaway. Like I said, follow myself and Shiftscreen on Twitter. Leave a comment below, subscribe, and like this video. We're gonna take all the comments, pick one person at random from this video, and then announce it over on Twitter a week from when this video releases, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed. If you made it to the end, leave a comment below. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, peace.